From Wildcard to world stage, Alex Eala's Miami magic changed everything. For Alex Eala, the journey from promising junior to global contender didn't arrive quietly. It exploded under the Miami lights, in a week that rewrote her career trajectory and reshaped how the tennis world looked at the Philippines. Just a year earlier, Eala was grinding through the WTA Challenger Tour and ITF circuit, ranked outside the elite at number 140, largely unknown beyond dedicated followers of women's tennis. Entry into the sport's biggest tournaments was still out of reach. Then came a wildcard, an opportunity, and a run that felt almost unreal. Miami was not just another tournament. It became a coming-of-age moment. Eala didn't simply advance, she dismantled expectations. Former French Open champion Elena Ostapenko fell. Australian Open winner Madison Keys followed. Then came the shockwave victory over world number 2 Iga Swiatek, already a 5-time Grand Slam champion at the time. By the time she reached the semifinals, Eala wasn't just a feel-good story, she was must-watch tennis. The run ended against Jessica Pegula, but the damage was already done, in the best possible way. Rankings leapt. Doors opened. History followed. Eala surged into the world's top 100, becoming the first Filipina ever to do so, and the spotlight that arrived never really left. Looking back, Eala herself describes that stretch as the defining moment so far, not just because of the wins, but because of what clicked internally. Suddenly, she wasn't imagining life on the WTA Tour, she was living it. Every match became proof that she belonged on the same courts as the sport's biggest names. What followed was not a slowdown, but momentum. A Grand Slam debut at Roland Garros. A breakthrough run to her first WTA final at Eastbourne. Another milestone at the US Open, where she claimed her first main draw Grand Slam win and advanced to the second round, again making Philippine tennis history. Soon after, she captured her maiden WTA Challenger title in Guadalajara, reinforcing that her rise was not built on one magical week alone. Now ranked a career-high number 31 after a strong quarter-final showing in Dubai. Eala's story has evolved from breakout sensation to sustained contender. Yet there is still a sense of wonder in how she speaks about that initial leap, the moment when everything changed and the dream suddenly felt real. For Eala, Miami wasn't just a highlight. It was a doorway. And every tournament since has been another step through it, carrying with her not only personal ambition, but the growing belief of an entire nation watching one of its own thrive on the world stage. Before the bright lights, before the roaring crowds, before the world learned how to pronounce her name with awe, she was just a young Filipina holding a racket and a dream bigger than the islands she came from. Alex Eala had always been talented. But talent alone does not shake the tennis world. Magic does. And magic arrived in Miami. When she entered the Miami Open as a wildcard, expectations were polite, cautious, almost dismissive. A wildcard is an opportunity, not a promise. It is an invitation to the party, not a guarantee you'll own the dance floor. The draw was filled with seasoned champions, players forged by Grand Slam finals and years of tour battles. Eala was young, hungry, unafraid. Miami, with its humid air and electric energy, has always been a stage for transformation. Under the Florida sun, careers ignite. And in 2025, it was Eala's turn. Point by point, she rewrote the narrative. Her game was not just skill, it was conviction. Every forehand cracked with belief. Every backhand carried the weight of a nation that had rarely seen itself represented deep in elite tennis tournaments. The composure she showed against higher-ranked opponents stunned commentators. The footwork was sharp, the shot selection fearless, the mentality unshakable. But what truly changed everything wasn't just the wins. It was who she defeated, and how. When she faced top-tier opponents, including players who had already carved their names into tennis history, she did not play like someone grateful to be there. She played like someone who belonged. And belonging is powerful. It shifts energy. It silences doubt. The world began to pay attention. Broadcasters replayed her highlights. Analysts dissected her tactical intelligence. Social media buzzed from Manila to Miami. Suddenly, the narrative wasn't about a promising junior, anymore. It was about a contender. For the Philippines, her run felt seismic. Tennis had long existed in the shadows of more dominant global powers. But now, Filipino flags waved in the stands of a prestigious American tournament. Young girls back home stayed up past midnight, watching history unfold. They saw in her not just an athlete, but possibility. Eala's journey had already been unique. Training at the prestigious Rafa Nadal Academy in Spain, she honed her craft under a system built on discipline, resilience, and relentless improvement. The academy, founded by Rafael Nadal, is known for producing competitors who fight for every point. In Miami, that influence was unmistakable. Eala chased down impossible balls. She refused to surrender momentum. She competed with fire, but also with grace. Her Miami run was not luck. It was preparation meeting opportunity. With each match, something shifted internally. Confidence is quiet at first. Then it grows louder. By the later rounds, she was no longer the wildcard. She was the story. There is a moment in every athlete's life when belief becomes irreversible. Miami was that moment for Eala. The tournament did not just boost her ranking, it transformed her identity. She stepped onto the court as a hopeful. She walked off it as a force. And the ripple effects were immediate. Sponsors called. Media requests multiplied. Tennis analysts began including her name in conversations about the sport's future. But perhaps most importantly, she began seeing herself differently. When you defeat players the world considers untouchable, you stop placing limits on your own ceiling. From wildcard to world stage, it sounds poetic. But in reality it is brutal. It requires surviving pressure, scrutiny, and expectation. After Miami, the spotlight did not dim. It intensified. Every opponent now studies her game. Every tournament carries new weight. Yet there is something about athletes who experience their breakthrough in dramatic fashion. They learn they can handle the storm. Miami taught Eala that she could stand in the arena with the best and not flinch. That realization changes everything. It alters how you train, how you recover, how you compete. It shifts from, "Can I win?" to, "How many can I win?" Her run also reshaped the global map of tennis. The sport thrives on fresh narratives, new regions, new heroes, new rivalries. Eala's breakthrough signaled the rise of Southeast Asia in conversations long dominated by Europe and North America. It reminded the tennis world that greatness is not confined by geography. But beyond rankings and headlines, her Miami magic was about courage. It was about stepping into a tournament where few expected you to last, and daring to stay. It was about playing freely when pressure said tighten up. It was about honoring the grind of early mornings, lonely training sessions, and sacrifices unseen by cameras. The beauty of sports lies in its unpredictability. On any given day, a wild card can rewrite destiny. And when that wild card carries the heart of a fighter and the discipline of a champion in the making, history bends.